Hi, I'm Phil Monahan with Devil's Inc. and I'm sitting down right now with one of the stars from the movie from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Grandpa John Dugan. John,
Hey Phil.
how are you?
Fine, thanks.
How have you enjoyed your stay in Hillsdale so far?
I had a great time. Great crew of people to work with. Good script. Nice little town. I've enjoyed it.
Good, good. So, what are you up to these days?
This, really, not a whole lot. I do a lot of convention appearances and personal appearances. But with the 40th anniversary of Texas Chainsaw Massacre and the re-release this this summer, I've been doing some personal appearances at movie theaters. Well, we did one Jackson, Michigan Friday night that you arranged. So, and I have another one of those, at least one more coming up this fall. And then, but with the autumn, it's kind of high season for convention work up until Halloween. So I'm pretty busy.
Does that get kind of busy for you?
Yes, the spring, the fall season is probably the busiest time of year. So everybody's gearing up for Halloween. They do a lot of horror related stuff September and October.
So, when you're approached for films, independent films primarily today, is a lot of it horror based or?
Yeah, I unfortunately, well, I don't know if it's unfortunate, but I have been pretty much pigeonholed as a horror movie actor, which, I'd like to kind of get away from. I'd like to do a variety of things, I'm an actor, I'm not a horror actor. But I am a horror actor because I've done a lot of that sort of thing. So I was real pleased to do this because it's not really a horror film. There's some spooky aspects to it, but it's a drama, and it's a nicely written part, and I really got to act. I felt like I was acting, the talented young people to work with. I'm kind of the old man on the set. It was a really good time, a good experience.
So maybe if other people kind of seen John Dugan in not so much of a horror movie, but more of a dramatic part where you get to show so many different emotions of, the bubbly mayor, but behind the scenes, your own.
Oh, this
demons
character's
you
a
struggle with.
butthole. I mean, he's a total jerk. Just a bad father and just not a pleasant person. So it's a meaty role. I really had a fun time doing it. And the thing is, until I got into the thick of actually acting the part, I didn't realize how much of an asshole the character was. Until, and of course, I had a chance to act with Eric, who the director, one of the writers, one of the directors of this, and it didn't read the way that that has come across to me this week working on it. Once we started bouncing emotions off each other, it got a little more intense than I saw it, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
So what would you consider your highlight of the Devil's Inc. film?
Coney dog in Jackson. Got to have a real Michigan Coney dog. The highlight, there were a lot of highlights. Just working. I like to work. I love to work. And this weekend it was a great experience for me. Really made me remember why I like to act. Had some couple moments where I thought, wow, that really worked. That was great. We timed that out beautifully. A nice emotional curve to that. It was. I felt good about it. Can't wait to see it.
And you got to do an action scene, of course, which probably...
Yeah, and I was hurting all day yesterday because of that. I'm over 60 now. Man, I got a knot on my leg over here. My right ankle was all swollen up night before last. That swelling's gone down. I don't know how that happened. But yeah, I got to kick the shit out of a teenager, which, a smart-ass teenager, which we all wanted to do at one time or another. So, yeah, and poor Alex, we did 12 takes on that. And he told me yesterday, he said, I didn't want to tell you at the time because I was afraid it'd upset you, but some of that hurt, But he was a real trooper about it, so.
Yeah, it looked great. looks great.
I hope so.
Yes, I can't wait to see the finished project as well. So what would be your dream role if you could do, if you only had one more movie or one more role that you could play, what would that be?
Oh. This is probably every male actor's dream, but I'd like to do I'd love to do a Western. I think that would be a dream to me, to do a real Western and shoot it, in New Mexico or Arizona or something. And, a real long shoot, 3 months. All dirty, gritty, riding horses and shooting guns and that would be my actor's dream, would be to do a Western, I think.
Have you been in any Western?
No, I did a small role. It wasn't a short film, it was a small role where I played a Confederate officer, and I got to ride a horse. I got to ride into a scene on a horse, which was kind of neat. But I've never done a Western, no. Just the whole thing of doing a Western, the wardrobe, and the horses, and just that whole, something really gritty, good Western, yeah. Yeah, I'd love to do that. And a comedy, I'd love to do a comedy. A wacky comedy. A buddy comedy, a road comedy, something,
Mel Brooks type comedy?
Sure, I'd love to do something like that. I'd love to do that. So there's not just any one thing I'd like to do. I want to do it all,
How much longer do you see yourself acting?
Forever. I have to. Can't afford to retire. All those years of supporting my acting habit by waiting tables and tending bar, I didn't declare all those tips, So I'm showing like very little in. So my, if I were to collect Social Security, it'd be like $400 a month. I won't ever be able to quit working. I have no desire to quit working, and I'm actually getting more work now than I ever have. So, I had an instructor years ago in theater school, John Medici, who told me, I was asking him for pickups on a play that I'd done. He had seen the play, and I tracked him down. I said, "What'd you think?" And he said, "Well, yeah, you were great." But I was like 20 years old, and I was playing an old man or something, And he said, "But Dugan, you're a character actor, and you'll always be a character actor. And character actors don't work until they're like at least 45 years old and get a few lines in their face and that sort of thing." And which is devastating to a 21-year-old actor to hear that from somebody, but it's pretty much the truth. I never was a leading man type. So I've got those wrinkles and everything now. So maybe the work will start pouring in.
So through all your years in acting, I know your claim to fame was Texas Chainsaw. What has been your favorite role to date?
Probably Candy in Of Mice and Men on stage in Chicago. The whole production was just a very satisfying artistic experience. I felt like that we as an ensemble had really touched people. I walked out one night up into the lobby door to catch some friends that were there. I wanted to tell them to wait until I got my makeup off and we'd go have a drink or something. And this woman fell into my arms crying.
Because of the performance?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I was just golden, and she touched my face. She said, "You're such a marvelous actor. You people are so great." And she was touching my face and crying. It was like, whoa. I just stood there and held her. And wow. That's the way to do it. I mean, that's what art is about, to produce feelings in people. Sometimes they're bad feelings, sometimes they're good feelings, but to make people feel and think. And that's what that was all about to me, doing that play.
As the mayor in Devil's Inc., what kind of feelings do you think people are going to have towards your character in the film, and from what you know of the other characters that you...
I don't think they'll like me. I don't think he's a very likable character. And like I said, when I read the script, I didn't see him that way. But as we started shooting and we started acting off of each other, he kind of developed into quite an asshole. And the guys let me play a little bit with the dialogue, toss some things in there to make him even more of an asshole. So,
Do you think it's better? When you're involved in most projects, do you usually get a little freedom with your script?
I have
or do
lately. I
people
have
try
in the
to-
last couple of years. Yes, there are some writers. To some writers, every word is precious.
verbatim.
Yes, they want it. I was just working on a project a few months ago where that was the case. The director was also the screenwriter, and he every word in its proper place.
Does that make it a little tougher?
That project never got off the ground. It went by a week before we were supposed to start rolling on it. So, yeah, I think that the writer is also directing. It makes it a little more difficult. You don't have nearly as much leeway on the words because they are his words.
Yeah. Do you think that makes it tougher though? Because in this case, you had words to go with, but
No,
you
I
were
don't. No,
able
no,
to
no.
say
I don't
them
think it
like
makes
you
it
would
any
say it.
tougher. No, but the problem with that sort of thing in no budget, low budget, independent film is you have no rehearsal time, and it is really hard to do a lot of dialogue word for word if you haven't had time with other actors actually rehearsing.
Did that make you a little nervous coming up for this
Yes,
project?
yes, it
being
did.
You were in Nashville.
Particularly, I had that one big scene with the young priest that I was nervous about. I called you on the phone.
Yeah. So, what's your opinion of the independent film industry today? Obviously, everybody that has a camera thinks that they can put movies together.
Yeah, it's the fact that it's so affordable now, that high quality, you can get a high quality look for so. I mean, you can get a camera package for so cheap now with everything you need. So it allows talented young filmmakers to make their films, to make a professional looking film. It also allows no talent idiots to make films. So when the big camera companies and the big rental houses and things had such a tight grip on the film industry, there were I'm sure a lot of talented young people just never got to make the film that they had in them, which is unfortunate. And now it's possible, but it's also allowed a lot of really crap to come out there, and that's when it comes down to distributors trying to, having some sort of sense of taste, which I don't think a lot of them do, and I don't think the American public has a lot of taste sometimes. And a lot of people like crappy film. There's people that just the crappier the better. It's like it's so bad it's good kind of thing. I think there's a lot of talented young people out there, and I'm happy to work with them. I got lucky on this deal. Alex and Eric, you guys have been great, and you had a vision, and I think you've allowed it to live, to develop too. What was the original question? What I think the state of I think independent film is in good shape. The problem is getting your product seen. I mean, I could talk about this all day. I know we don't have a lot of time, but and I don't have any advice for anybody really. Keep plugging away, and hopefully, get your product made, get it on the festival circuit. Hopefully, somebody will see it. Do what you love. Do it right.